Moses had to trust God. In the face of gross adversity and turbulence, in the face of people that did not believe that he was the one that was to lead them into a promised land. Even if you are tired, even if you are weary, even when you don't completely believe, can you trust God?
What's up, it's Simmons with Taylor, and it is officially day 5, the last week of Motivational Movement, and I'm so excited because we are finishing this series off strong with an amazing topic. But if you have not yet, make sure you go check out day 4. It was titled Unstoppable, and as a Christian and a person, we have to have an unstoppable mindset, meaning that we can do anything through Christ who strengthens us. But today's topic is so amazing, and it is titled When Life Doesn't Go As Planned. When life doesn't go as planned. And see, I wanted to do a topic that everyone can relate to. And see, everyone can have a blueprint and a whole goal and their whole life planned out, but that doesn't mean how it's gonna really happen. And not everyone's life, really no one's life is gonna go exactly how they want it to go. So this topic is gonna tell you what to do when your life doesn't go as planned. And see, throughout this episode, I'm going to list 3 points, and if you want to take notes, these 3 points will pop up on the screen when I mention them. So I just want to go right into it with the first point. So when life doesn't go as planned, lean on God. Lean on God. And see, the Bible tells us all the time, Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. So the Bible literally tells you hundreds of times to lean on God, to trust in God, to put all your faith in God. And see, when your life doesn't go as planned, that's going to be super hard to do. Because you're going to go into a part in your life where it's like, oh my goodness, God, you are really not on my side. But see, when your life feels so rough, you have to go to God. And you have to say, hey, I don't know what to do, God, but I know you do. And see, there's this song that I really like, and it's titled, God Only Knows by Kings and Country. God only knows. And see, in the song it said, God only knows what you've been through. God only knows. And see, that's so true. God only knows what you've been through. God is the person that knows exactly what you're going through. God knows more about yourself than you know about yourself. So when life doesn't go as planned, lean on God. And see, the first point, I'm going to say first point A, I want to say don't be afraid to go into the unplanned. Don't be afraid to go into the unplanned. Don't be afraid. Your life is going to be unplanned all the time. You're going to go through situations where you did not plan it out to go like this. But don't be afraid to go there, because it might be the best time of your life, because you might end up getting closer to God. And see, I also want to tell y'all to don't try to fix things, just so surrender and trust. Don't try to fix things, just surrender and trust. Meaning trust in God. When life doesn't go as planned, don't try to fix it and don't try to make it go your way. Just surrender. Just say, hey, God, I don't know where you're taking me, but I know it has to be better than my plan. Because let's be honest, is your plan that good? It might seem good in your head and it might seem perfect, but I bet your plan has a lot to do with money and fame. And see, God's plan might not have money in it. God's plan for you might have more of a purpose. And we have to remember that. And that leads into our second point for this topic. Change your perspective. Change your perspective. And see, when I say change your perspective, I'm basically saying change your perspective on life. It might not go exactly how you want it to. Life is going to have ups and downs, whether you want it to or not. But really, you have to change your perspective into maybe you just got, I don't know, it could be anything. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe your parents got divorced. Maybe your family is just not working out, or your friends aren't just working out. Whatever it is, you have to change your perspective. Instead of being negative and saying, oh my goodness, this is terrible, I wish this would have never happened, think about it saying, hey, I don't know why this happened, but I know it's God's plan. I know it's God's plan. And if you know it's God's plan, then it's a good plan. Romans 12:2 tells us do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. And see, this verse says not to think like the world, but instead think like God thinks. And if we think like God thinks, then we will be able to understand the will and the purpose God has for us. 2 Corinthians says the same thing. 2 Corinthians 4:18 says, while we do not look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things that are seen are temporary, but the things that are not seen are eternal. And I love this verse because it's really like the perfect verse. Because I feel like a lot of us just think about what we see. See, God doesn't think about the present. God thinks about the whole thing. And you know the only person who knows your future is God. You don't know what's happening tomorrow. You don't know what's happening from a year from now. But God does. And see, that's what you have to change your perspective on. And that's how God wants you to think. God wants you to know that, hey, your plan might seem perfect to you, but I know the whole picture. I know that maybe this plan or this ups and downs might not seem great right now, but it's going to be so great in the future. And it's going to change you as a person. So I just want y'all to remember that right now. I know someone that's watching this might be going through a stressful time or a depressing time, or just something in your life is not going like you planned. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's the circumstances you're in. I don't know. But like I said, God knows. And you have to know that it might seem so bad right now, but I promise you that God is right there with you. And He sees the whole picture when you can't even see a part of it. God has a plan. And that plan may not be the same plan as yours. And that's one point that I really like. That God's plan is not the same thing as your plan. God's plan is not the same plan as your plan. Isaiah 55:8-9 says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. God's ways are higher than our ways. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. And last but not least, the third point I want to point out is when life does not go as planned, it's okay. It's okay. You might be thinking, oh, Taylor, you don't know. It's not okay right now. I'm going through a stressful, hard time. It's not okay. But I promise you it's okay because we have the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords right there with us. Romans 8:28 tells us, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose. God will bring good out of what looks like a hopeless situation. You might think God can do nothing with you. You might think God can do nothing with the situation you're in. But somehow, some way, God will bring good out of your situation you're in right now. And you just have to trust Him and lean on Him and change your perspective. And I really want y'all to know that it's okay. It's okay to be weak because when Christ's strength can work through us, it's okay to not be like everyone else, to not look the same way, to not do the same things, and to not go on about the same things. It's okay not to be okay. It is okay. And I don't know who you are listening, but I promise you that it's okay. Because whether you see it or not, the King of Kings is looking down on you and He is right there with you. And He's holding your hand and saying, hey, it's okay. It's okay. I really hope y'all bring this topic throughout y'all's week, because I love this topic, because everyone can relate to it. Everyone can relate to it. Because maybe your life isn't going as planned, but God is right there with you. Make sure you share this video because it only starts with one. I'll be posting a Bible verse in short next week. I love y'all so much. Make sure you stay tuned for next Saturday's video. Hope y'all all have an amazing week. Bye.